Welcome to Massive Beers. My name is Matt. We do the beer stuff here. A little bit of Lawson's up in this piece in the form of their super Lemonova blonde ale with lemon zest. Yeah, a little bit of Lawson's up in this piece. I've never seen this before. Popped into my area. I pick it up, I review it. That's how we do these. What do we have here? Straight from the Green Mountains to your head. Story time, as they are known to do. This incredibly balanced blonde ale is bursting with citrus hop notes and complemented by a subtle twist of tartness coming from multiple additions of lemon zest. So there you go. I like fruit dosed Lawson's. They're Scrag Mountain with lime. I love the crap out of that beer. That is a quintessential summer chugger for this guy right here. So, yeah, being that we're getting in the 80s and it is now almost June, that will be a heavy rotation up in my house. Label-wise, it's what Lawson does. I'm not going to sit here and say they're like rewriting books or making these awesome labels, yada, 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 but I like them because I know it's Lawson's when I see it, and that is a good thing. So as far as this beer goes, a little bit of dirty glass mouth because that's how I do. And that looks like a little bit of a hazy blonde. You know, nothing too crazy, nothing ultra hazy. You can see through it. You can definitely see what's going on through there. Nice haze to it, index finger, white as white could be, head with this kind of like richer, kind of darker orange glow than you come to expect from like maybe like a hazy pale or even a blonde ale. Maybe that's that orange peel at work there, but definitely looks the part of a little hazy jammer. Did I call out ABV on this sucker? 5.1%. Let's see what the nose has to offer. Okay, that is bright citrus, and I mean that as in it is giving me the full gamut of citrus here. You're getting your grapefruit, you're getting your citrus, probably mostly from the hops, and then you get that nice kind of lemony, limey kind of sweetness. Almost think like lemon limey soda-esque. I assume that's your zest at play there. A little bit of malt character, nothing too crazy, but it really is just dominated by those citrus notes, whether it be from that orange peel, or sorry, lemon peel, or those hops. Yeah, and they talk about this tart thing, and I can kind of see this. This has a nose akin to a Goza, or a Berliner, something along those lines, but not as I'm not gonna use the word aggressive because they don't have aggressive noses, but not as big as those on that tart spectrum. I believe you're gonna get a little zip. It's probably gonna add a bit of summeriness, a bit of sprightliness, a bit of just super lightness to it. Hopefully those lemon and citrus vibes, both from the hops and that zest, really do come through and have a decent but secondary backbone on it from that malt to kind of keep everything in check. We can only hope. No, we can find out. Let's dive in. Cheers, y'all. Yeah, it's nice. It's very nice. It has both of those spectrums of citrus kind of at play here. You're getting a decent amount of kind of like a citrus kind of hoppiness. Nothing too juicy, a bit more kind of, again, in line with the pithiness, but there's definitely an orange there, definitely a grapefruit there, and you definitely get that little bit of lemoniness in there. There's a little bit of subtle tartness from that zestiness. Nothing too crazy, not anywhere close to that Goza / Berliner level, but it's definitely there. And it does have a decent amount of maltiness to it, almost like a nutty maltiness to it. Probably a little bit bigger than I was expecting, maybe a little bit bigger than I wanted, if I'm going to be perfectly honest with you. It comes off, maybe this isn't ultra, sorry for stuttering, it's weird, usually don't do that, ultra cold. This is probably closer to like high 40s instead of mid 40s, so maybe that's kind of acting a little bit at play when it comes to the way the malt kind of comes off. It's not a malty beer, but it's a little bit bigger than I thought it would be. Kind of tracks though if you look at the actual coloration of the beer, but definitely not a detractor. Just I wanted this to be hyper summer, hyper crusher, super drinkable, and there's a little bit of heft to it. It's not a big beer, it's not a hefty beer, there's this little bit of heft to it that makes it just eke outside of that kind of super crusher status for me. But it's a very tasty beer. It does everything it says it's going to do with that orange, with that lemon zest, with that kind of nice, kind of citrusy vibes to it. And I dig it. The only probably biggest caveat or biggest knock is probably a better way to put it for me is probably a price point. This was $16 American. Lawson's price points are usually typically quite nice. You know, a 5.1% blonde ale with a little bit of lemon zest in it is typically going to be more in the $13 range for them, but it ended up being 16. So, you know, it intrigued me enough to where I picked it up. I'm not mad at getting a 4-pack of it. I just wish it was a little bit more easier in the pocket when it comes to price point, especially something under this lower ABV. But you're talking about the copious amounts of zest that went into it, probably decent amounts of hop. It's a very, very tasty beer. Very, very nice beer. Very summery beer, just stops short of like Ultra Summer Crusher, which I see super Lemonova on it. That's kind of the vibes I got. I was kind of wanting that. Even though I got a little bit of that, I just want a little bit more, a little bit less, I guess would be the appropriate way to put it, to make it a little bit more of a crusher, but tasty beer nonetheless. It delivers everything that it calls out in that label. And, you know, it's not that Lawson's infallible. You know, they've had some decent misses for me. And, you know, while I looked at this, I was like, okay, the fruit dose stuff usually comes off right. You never know. I'm a fan. I dig it. Let's get to it. Is this one of the better blonde ales that I had this late? Yes. Mount Rushmore status, probably E on the outside looking in there. Even though I haven't done a ton of them, there's ones that definitely have done better for me, but tasty nonetheless. Value and availability, off the shelf, $16 at Wegmans, which is usually very, very good price point wise, so I don't think they're marking it up all that much. So in a perfect world, it'll be a little bit less, and leave you with if you like what we like this. If you like little hoppy American ales, because that's what it is. This is a hoppy American blonde. This is not your classic blonde ale. So you look at a little hoppy American ale, you want that added twist of that lemon zest in there, but you don't want it to the point where it's just overpowering the beer. Then you'll dig this. So there you go. A review on the books. Hopefully you enjoyed. Lawson's. Have you been to the brewery? I have. Have you had their beers? I have. What's your favorite Lawson's beer? Probably a Feast of Maple, maybe. The barrel-aged one, maybe. I don't know. I'd have to think about that. Yeah, anyway, have you had this beer? All that fun stuff you can talk about down there. Hopefully you enjoyed our review. Hopefully enjoying a little bit of a chugger goodness right now. Hope to see you next time. Cheers, y'all.